Just
I think it's still
leave
no, no,
it.
it's still recording.
We'll leave it. Yeah, yeah, but I don't know whether it was recording in the dark or not. Let's call this.
Well, the camera's there anyway, so
Yeah,
you just need to
okay,
move around the thing.
okay. Um, it could be interesting. This later on, I get RAs and kind of put the same question,
Mm.
and because you guys got different approaches
Mm.
to everything it's about. But hey, if it weren't for the different approaches, I mean, where would the interest of life be? At one point, I found that my own, um, the guy out there doing what I was doing here, it was more my friend than all of the people that I was supposed to be communicating with.
Mm.
Yeah. That was an important discovery, that ultimately the guys holding the frontier, they're the ultimate diplomats. They're
What
the
do you mean by
ones.
the frontier?
The frontier is the space between us and them.
Who's them?
Them are the guys that, in other circumstances, would be shooting at us, but because it's a frontier, we don't shoot.
Mm.
Because we actually maintain the frontier, we were the frontier. And so it's interesting for us as people to be able to have a good life, which means to have the frontier as wide as possible and to have as many people moving to and fro as possible so that you'd have then um, like a springtime. Um, it would be good for everyone. Everyone would be happy, and so you have a good frontier. Yeah. And those shiders in the back, they're always well because they're led by dwarves. Yeah. Um, so like we would fix something and they would come wreck it. Ratfan, Tbilisi, um, how do they wreck it? They wreck it because they haven't got a clue. I mean, just before they finally left Aden, which then was already Yemen, um, they actually fired it into the crowd. I mean, fuck, how stupid can you get? You don't believe there's going to be a tomorrow. You don't believe people are going to look back and remember that you fired it into the crowd. Of course they are.
But people don't think about the ahead. They think about that moment.
Yeah, but the consequences are happening now.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the consequences have gotten much heavier because, well, now we're actually siding with some people that have decided to wipe some other people off the map.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really grave kimchi.
Well, they'll only succeed in wiping people off the map if those people are not fit to defend themselves.
Ah,
And again, with this, a lot of these things, the reason why I don't care so much is because I believe everything happens for a reason, and exactly the way it's meant to. So I don't question things as they happen because they were what's meant to happen. I actually had this argument with a race, and it really bedazzled him, and he was lost of answers.
well, yeah, but um, I'm going to say um, it's not everything is foreordained.
Well, I believe
But
it is.
okay, but the only thing that means is that you can actually see what's going to happen before it happens. To see after it happens, well, hey, that's real small potatoes. Everyone has that. I
Yeah.
mean, just watch any drunk every day of his life. He's going to repent and he's going to kind of become teetotal and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. And the next day, he does exactly the same thing.
I've had quite a lot of psychic. Well, I wouldn't say I don't use the word psychic, but a lot of things that I think are going to happen end up happening. So
Yeah, well, the whole purpose of the idea of predestination is that you can know beforehand. But if you don't look, you won't see. And so you won't know. And so you'll only know after it happens. And that's the common, the normal, the ordinary, is for people to realize suddenly after it happens, oh fuck, it happened.
Yeah. But the way I see that is, even if, you say, oh fuck it, I mean, again, that was never going to happen any other way.
Yeah.
You can't win this argument without beliefs already. Like I use like in terms of there's two ways of viewing life. There's everything happens for a reason and exactly the way it's meant to, and then there's free will. If there's free will, this can't exist. If everything happens for a reason, then free will can't exist, unless free will is illusionized and doesn't matter which path you take, the destination is always the same.
But the answer is actually there.
Well, that wasn't a question.
You're justifying something that absolutely doesn't need justifying because it wasn't even part of the argument. So
it clouds everything. Well, because if everything happens, well, and this is why I believe more, which is why I don't really care about what's happening right now. If everything happens like for a reason and exactly the way it's meant to, it means that everything's happening right now. It's happening for a reason and exactly the way it's meant to, which means that it can't happen any other way.
Exactly. Where free will comes in is, what are you going to look at? What are you going to expect? If you expect A, then A will probably happen, and
I don't believe in free will.
Happens, well, hey, you don't believe in free will? Okay, doesn't matter. But that's the only use that free will could have, was whether you're going to pay attention or not. Because if you don't pay attention, everything gets extremely complicated.
But if it doesn't exist, it makes everything, it simplifies everything. Like like I say, if everything happens for...
Rapaz, si es que quiere comprender, entonces tiene que prestar atención. Si no lo haces, no lo haga. Significa que misea ilipue. Ilipue ina kapion pu skeftate egoima etsi alo que ego bistevo afto que afto ina Alicia que de bistevo afto alo que afto ina semata. Aplo. Allah, so.
Okay.
That's not the way it is. Anyway, you see, what I'm trying to say here is that there's only one right. Yeah, that's the right, it's balanced. The opposites are reconciled, and that's the way it should be. That's health. Yeah. Now then, if this one is away counting, then you're not going to have health. It's not possible. Because the thing is out of balance. When it's out of balance, you got different kinds of dysfunction, which we call disease. Yeah. So you decided dirt is bad, and you got a whole couple, 3, 4 generations of people thinking that dust was bad. So you went in the dining room and you would smell, who knows, Bisto. And you went in the bathroom and you would smell, who knows, Pine Sol. And you went in the kitchen and you would smell, who knows, Presto. Yeah. And the whole house in general smelled of Lifebuoy. That was the mark of these generations. You could go down in a bunker that had American soldiers, and the first thing you'd smell was Lifebuoy.
Lifebuoy.
Lifebuoy was a kind of soap. It was kind of a pinkish kind of soap and had a really distinctive smell. But anyway, you see, that was the ideal. The ideal was absolutely no dirt. All dirt was bad. Every type of different detergent would kill 99% of the germs. Yeah. And that's a whole stupid way of dealing with stuff, because it means that the immune system it's not deregulated. It's not even there. It's never been trained. It's never been.
But that would just indicate that it's weaker.
Of course, it's weaker.
Yeah, but it's still there.
Yeah. Okay. So.
That wasn't an argument. That's a statement. That's a fact.
Okay. You wanna stop it?
No. It was the screen was coming up.
But you could stop it.
Why?
Well, because it's going on round and round and not really going anywhere.
Yeah. What's up, you? 21 minutes.